How about that? We got a monsoon storm for the ages last night. Good morning, everybody. I'm Ron Hoon. Krystal's going to be joining in the next couple of minutes. We've got Syleste as well, but we're going to be talking about that epic storm that really created a lot of damage over the city and probably has you in communication with any other friends or family that you might have in other parts of the world. They've got to be talking to you saying, is this real? You know, you take a look at some of the time-lapse photos. By the way, that's Jordan Hoon, my son, taking those pictures from out in Apache Junction yesterday. And when he sent that to the rest of the family, we all looked at it and said, holy cow, this feels like the big one. If you've lived here for more than a decade, you might remember 2011. That's when we had the highly defined edge sweep right across the valley and just swallow up the whole Metro Phoenix area. The rain came down. Look at that from our tower cam in downtown Phoenix. Yeah, you can see across the street to the Chase ballpark, but that's about it. I mean, visibility was really limited. And yeah, they did have to close the airport. Krystal telling us that the max gust of wind at Sky Harbor when this thing was really howling yesterday was 70 miles an hour. And so it's a chance for us to share some of the great videos with you and talk all about it. We hope that you will share your stories with us. And at the same time, let us know, where were you when the storm hit? Are you watching here, were you in the East Valley, Central Phoenix, West Valley? Were you in a different part of Arizona? Are you in another part of the world and you wonder what it's really like? We would really encourage your questions today. So Krystal comes up here in about 2 minutes, but I did want to share with you, our Kinsey Beach was out there looking around for both damage and flooding and all of the after effects of it all. And here was what she had to say a little earlier.
Storm really brought it all. We've seen the video of just that dust storm barreling through the valley, but it also brought a lot of water and a lot of damage. I mean, I'm standing in this parking lot right now, the water above my calves, and I don't even think I'm standing in the deepest part of it. So as we make our way this way, there are so many down trees. You see this tree that's pulled from the root right here, but that doesn't even really show the extensiveness of this damage. You're seeing even behind me a lot of limbs that are snapped. Thankfully, we think that crews were out here super early this morning clearing major roads like the one behind me, and also in this parking lot they've brought all the downed trees to this far area. They've kind of gathered them all there so it doesn't kind of disrupt the normal operations of the morning. But we also drove around a lot of neighborhoods around here. You're seeing massive trees completely pulled from the roots. Thankfully, the trees you're looking at didn't fall on people's homes, but it's just things toppled over kind of all over the place. We even saw downed basketball hoops, people that looked like they had put plenty of bricks down kind of on the base of the basketball hoops, but they're kind of torn over as well. And we were at Sky Harbor this morning, and things are back to normal there, but standing here in this parking lot, I feel like we have.
Yeah, okay, so you had a chance to hear exactly what Kinsey was saying in that report. And, there are going to be all kinds of parking lots where we're going to see damage left behind. We're going to see flooding as well. We've got plenty of pictures to share with you right now. But you know who's got most of the answers as to what actually made it all come together in literally kind of a perfect storm. It is Krystal. I'm just going to try to pop up her camera here. Yeah, I'm punching Krystal's cam. Don't see you there yet, Krystal, but at least we got you here. Okay, let me try that one more time. No, odd. Okay, well, anyhow, let's pull up your weather maps and just chat about what was going on.
Sure, yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Okay, so these are the top wind gusts from yesterday. I think part of the reason that we're having some tech issues is that all over the valley, folks, lost power, had issues. So I think that maybe we are feeling a little bit of the impact from that. But the wind gusts hit 70 miles per hour, as you mentioned, at Sky Harbor Airport, 67 miles per hour in Chandler, you and I are both in the East Valley.
Yep.
Do you get a pretty good wall of dust?
Oh, it was tremendous.
Incredible as it
Yeah,
moved in. So
right.
you were just talking about this, but I was an intern at a station in town during the 2011 dust storm.
Oh, you were?
And I remember working that storm and thinking, this is one of the craziest things I'll see in my career. And then here I am.
Right.
We won't talk about how long ago.
Right.
And we're doing it again.
I'll just share one quick story about that. The following year, so that was 2011.
Yeah.
The next year, there was a film crew in town from London,
Okay.
and they were doing a kind of a made-for-TV movie, and they needed a clip of a newscaster guy.
Okay.
And before we did it, they said to me, do you think there's any chance that we could see one of those
Big storms.
big desert storms? Like, because it literally goes viral.
Yes.
Probably more today than even 14 years ago.
It is still widely talked about globally.
Yeah.
When I used to do tons of school visits where I would teach students about weather,
Mm-hmm.
and I would always show that video from 2011 because kids would lose their mind. Oh my gosh.
Right.
All right, let's get back to the stats now that we've done a little backtracking to 2011. So 67 mile per hour gusts in Chandler, 66 in Mesa, and then 50s for Scottsdale and Deer Valley. But everyone felt the impacts when it came to the rain as well, which not often that I can say that across the entire state there are rain totals observed during a monsoon setup. I mean, this was incredible. You had picked up over an inch of rain.
Wow.
A third of an inch at Sky Harbor Airport, which oftentimes we miss at Sky Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see all the way up to like Winslow, Prescott, over a quarter of an inch there at a third of an inch for Prescott. So there were some nice numbers. If we look specifically at the valley, East Valley picked up anywhere from like a quarter of an inch to almost an inch in that like Guadalupe, Tempe area. You can see 0.8 of an inch at one spot in Tempe, an inch around that for parts of like the Midtown area, and then around a third of an inch for parts of the West Valley. So everyone got the rain in the valley. And if you were in the southeast part of the valley, you were the ones that saw that really well-formed area of dust. So here's the loop, Ron,
Yeah.
of the thunderstorms that developed.
Here we
Remember,
go.
I was with you guys yesterday, right?
Yep.
And we said that there was a good chance of dust storms developing. Historically, our strongest dust storms happen when we get thunderstorms that develop south or like southeast of Tucson, which is exactly what happened yesterday. So
And
those
now
storms.
for people who are watching us, say in the UK or other countries, to stretch from that line of storms right there from Ajo to south of Tucson to Green Valley, that's over 100-mile long line of storms.
Yeah, it's really kind of incredible that these storms held together enough and then they kind of coalesced over Casa Grande. It looks like our computer is glitching out a little bit, but the actual radar showed that they kind of coalesced in the Casa Grande area, and then that's what really created that wall of dust. So this is the timeline from yesterday. 3:36 from the National Weather Service in Tucson, they issued their first dust storm warning near Marana, which is, if you're familiar, down the 10, just north of Tucson. So that was that first dust storm warning. 3:30 in the afternoon. Then between 5:30 and 5:50 is when visibility dropped to 0 miles at Sky Harbor. So no visibility at Sky Harbor. And that gust hit 70 miles per hour. And then 7:15. So now we're talking just under 4 hours after that first dust storm warning. The last dust storm warning came to an end. Now we're in Yavapai County. Up in Bumblebee was the last spot that I saw reports of limited visibility on the 17. So what a stretch,
Yeah,
right, for
right.
dust storm reports.
It was really crazy. Krystal, you mentioned earlier you were looking at some of the rain totals down in Yuma. You said they had over an inch of rain.
Yeah.
It has been wild. I mean, we obviously are in the Phoenix metro area, but there are other parts on Instagram I threw out and I said, where were you when the storm hit? And there's people up in the Navajo Nation said they had a good amount of rain. So this has been a statewide occurrence.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was one of Brandy's questions this morning. She's
Yes.
like, did it literally cover the whole metro? And
Yes.
then and beyond?
Yeah.
So the rain and dust, yes, the whole metro. The rain across the entire state, it wasn't just from the system that hit us. That was because we had just the perfect monsoon setup. So there was moisture in our air all over. There was moisture above us, and we were able to kind of tap into storms all over the state. But that cluster of storms that impacted the valley, it impacted all of us, that's for sure. So
Well,
it was really
yeah,
impressive.
and I'm glad you said perfect because
Yes.
there's a lot of times where we get dust,
Yeah.
but had no rain
Sure.
or rain and not really any dust.
Yeah.
And so this was kind of like we had the dust and the wind and the rain and the thunder, and then you had rain that moved through to kind of clear the air out.
You know, we'll get back to your maps in a second here, but I did want to share this video as well. This is right at Sky Harbor. This is from somebody working there at Sky Harbor, and as it was coming in, you can see the SkyTrain there. It would probably just go into invisibility almost. But look at actually on the ground, as soon as it came in, it looks like midnight almost.
It really
I mean,
does.
it really darkened those skies. That's from Mackenzie Hartman.
We have lights in our backyard that automatically turn on when it gets dark outside, and they turned on yesterday.
Wow.
They turned on
Yeah.
as soon as the dust rolled in. They turned on. It was amazing.
You know, you could see if you were driving around town, there were some flights like this one right here. This guy's they're
I would
landing.
be scared.
You know, so there was a Skid Row on Instagram. He responded to me. He said, I was on a flight into Sky Harbor Airport. We landed just before the tarmac was shut down due to lightning. Crazy night. So you have people that this was like the dusty carpet, not the red carpet.
And I
that
was
we pulled
looking
out.
at that one app, Flight Radar, and you could see all of a sudden, the second they shut down the airport, all of these planes are doing not a full 180, but a 90 degree.
Yeah.
Diverted to Tucson, diverted to Vegas. I mean, dozens of flights were impacted, and people had to wait hours to get home.
If you went to Vegas, I wonder if they won big because they got the slots in the
That'd be
airport.
amazing.
You know?
Yeah, if they let you off the plane. All right, Krystal, if you want to wrap up weather maps, let's go.
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to actually go forward a couple of things, a couple of graphics for you guys, just talk about how the storm forms. So the dust storm that we had yesterday, one of the ways these form is because these strong thunderstorms that I showed you that were south of Tucson, they create something called a downdraft, just real strong winds that fall out of a storm, plummet to the ground, and as they hit the desert floor in that open area of like Pinal County, they can actually, let's go back here. Let's see. There we go. They can actually slam into the desert floor and pick up dust as they start to spread out. So that's what happened. It started to pick up dust. It had a lot of distance to crawl, so it was able to pick up a lot of dust. And based off the intensity, which we know yesterday's was very intense, that's really a determining factor in how tall these things can grow and if it's a long duration event, which it obviously was. I just showed you that timeline. So that's why we had this kind of perfect setup for a massive dust wall to form. So these are just some early estimates that I made based off of looking at radar. The National Weather Service will have the exact numbers. They'll be more specific. But how far did this thing travel? And Ron, you mentioned this, over 100 miles it looks like it traveled. How wide was it on that leading edge? It looks like 50, if not more, and it could be considerably more. For perspective, the 2011 storm they think was around 100 miles. So it might be longer. And then how tall? And I wanted to correct this. On air, I build all my own graphics, so I'm slamming all morning long.
Sure.
I had 5,000 miles on here because I was just building quickly, but it was 5,000 feet or more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Krystal, thank you so much for coming on this morning.
We're going to take a mystery break right here, Mystery Cam, and we'll be right back.
I like mystery.
And welcome back. Very quiet now.
It's very quiet. We're going to ease you
Mystery
back.
Cam. We've been getting your guesses. We have Paul with Mississippi and RLS Vids with Kentucky.
We have Patricia Randolph with Illinois, question mark.
Okay.
We also have a Frankie D with Utah.
Okay.
So there's a few guesses for you this morning.
I was
Ron?
trying to think what the skinny state capital is. That's kind of a skinny capital. I'm going to go with Michigan because I think Lansing has kind of a skinny capital.
Skinny capital?
I like that. Skinny capital.
Uh-huh.
Skinny.
What do you think, Celeste?
I think I'm going to go Mississippi.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
the land
of Lincoln.
Land of Lincoln.
Yes.
It's so cool. You can still go tour his house like he locked it up and walked away 5 minutes ago.
Wow.
There's still a bunch of stuff in the house from like the 1860s.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's incredible. Okay, so Krystal is still sticking around with us, but you know what? If you were dealing with this yesterday, this is what it might have felt like or looked like in your yard.
Oh my gosh! This is so scary. Ah! Thank God I didn't fall in their house in their pool. Oh! Oh my gosh!
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it was a kind of a scary situation. There goes the branch. About a third of the tree just came down. She's pretty lucky there that it didn't come all the way down. I mean, the whole tree. So, Krystal, you had a couple of more points you were going to make for us.
Sure. So we were talking before the break about just the factors and how the storm was created, but not just we had a dust storm. It was so big and powerful. And a couple of the components that we didn't touch on is one, it has been very dry. We've had as we were joking, like a monsoon so far, really, except for the last couple of weeks. And that goes for much of southern Arizona. So if you look at the latest drought monitor update, which was from last Thursday, this was updated. The valley, areas to the south of the valley, are mostly in what you can see is like a 3 or 4 out of 5 on the scale, which is anywhere from severe to extreme drought conditions. So there was ample dust to be picked up, that's for sure. It wasn't like the ground was soaked and holding on to its dirt supply. And then on top of that, and this was a factor in the 2011 storm as well, you have to picture the elevation drop. So this dust wall developed in the Marana area, which is about 2,000 feet in elevation. Casa Grande is about 1,400 feet in elevation. And then by the time you get into downtown, you're at around 1,100 feet elevation. So if you think of like the cartoon where the snowball is like falling down a hill and it like rolls over the character and it gets bigger and bigger, that's kind of part of what played into this dust effect.
Are you telling me that if it was the reverse and we were at 2,500 feet?
I think it would have been harder for us to get that kind of wall.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I never
And if
thought
you think about it, it rolled across the valley. And of course, the valley floor in Phoenix, there's buildings and there's houses and there's not as much ample dust supply. And it's kind of starting to tear it apart a little bit. But also, you still had dust reports, although not as defined, up into the edge of the valley, right? Bumblebee. And then it started to fall apart as we hit higher elevations in Yavapai County. So dropping down the valley runs and gathers some more dirt for it. So
Yeah.
that really helped weigh into the fact that we had this epic wall of dust yesterday.
And it picks up all like rocks and debris and picks
a
up
mess.
like all that
Absolutely.
stuff you got out there, you know?
So I know you just got a couple of things to wrap up with, and as you do, I just wondered, what, though, was so different about this one yesterday compared to, say, I don't know, 3 or 4 that we had last year that started off promising, but then they petered out?
Well, it's a couple of things. Was there rain in the vicinity in the weeks before that kind of kept the ground more moist and maybe there wasn't as much of a dust supply? Did it come from that exact area of like the Marana to just west of Marana stretch that drags all across Pinal County? Was it as big of a complex of thunderstorms south of Tucson? All these things can weigh into making that wall of dust that we saw. So it was definitely a chaotic one. And real quick, I think someone did ask about the new dust storm scale that is out.
Yeah.
And to be quite frank, it's so new. And this was a group of meteorologists that have been working on this, I think, for like a decade around the valley. I did not live here a decade ago. I was out in Philly. And so I wasn't a part of the formulation, but that is something that they've been working, coming out with to start scaling these. And I would bet this ends up at the top of the scale.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's huge.
Well, the fact that you were able to actually let us know, because I actually think this is a big question that a lot of people had as they came to FTT today. How tall was it?
Yeah.
It's impressive to know how wide and how long and how far it traveled. but to actually put a number that's an estimate, but is pretty close.
I'm estimating at 5,000 because the 2011 storm was around 5,000 to 6,000 feet per the National Weather Service. So if we're at the same scale roughly, then that's, what it would be at. But I will be interested to see what the National Weather Service, who has far more knowledge than myself in terms of the tools and tech that they've got available, I think that they will give us a more of an exact answer, and that'll be interesting.
Very great. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Okay, how can we top a guest like Krystal? Well, here's
It
what
would
we're
be
gonna
very
do.
difficult,
It would
Ron.
be difficult, but we're going to do it right now because we have the man in charge of one of the fastest growing universities in America.
Yes.
And we're both big fans.
Huge fans.
We're talking about GCU. Grand Canyon University. Brian Mueller joins us now. He's been running the show over there. Let me punch up this Zoom right here. Hope you like your full introduction here, Brian. Since 2008, 2009, you have really overseen the boom times at GCU.
Yes, we've been very fortunate, and we're very grateful for it. Things have gone very well for us.
Do we have Brian
this
on
is the
mute?
17th
Is that
year,
what's
believe it or
happening?
not. Yes,
Can
we
you
came in
guys hear him
2008
okay?
when there were less than
We're
1,000
having a
students
couple
on
of
campus.
issues. I mean, there was a massive
We'll start
storm.
this year with
Brian,
over
can you hear
25,000
me?
students on
Okay,
campus,
yeah.
with
Give us
another
a thumbs up if
108,000
you can hear
students
us, okay,
online.
Brian.
So,
2, 3, 4, 5.
yes, thank you for that introduction, and we're very grateful for what's happening.
Can you guys hear him?
Oh, we cannot hear him here.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I can relay if you need.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're having some
Do you want to
headphone
give us?
problems.
Do you want to call him, Dave? We can do the phone.
Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay, as long as
Please.
the audience can hear you, and you know what, if we have some fallback and you guys can tweak it up just a little bit here in our production control room,
Can
that
we
would
just
be
also
helpful as
say
well.
Brian's shirt that he has, his sweater, is quarter zip.
Yes, I
He
know.
looks good.
That's the look. Okay, Brian, we can hear you now. Everything's fine. Just walk us through what the last, I guess more than 15, 16, 17 years have been like, and what it is that appeals to so much of America that brings these kids in from all across the U.S.
Yes, and it's interesting. We thought we had a good plan when we came here. We could have never predicted it would go as well as it has. I was saying before, when we came here, there was less than 1,000 students on campus. Today, we're starting the school year with over 25,000. We have another 108,000 studying online. Students are coming from all 50 states, both to campus and studying online, and so it's truly a national university. We figured out a way to make college affordable. That's the thing that first attracts people's attention. We haven't raised tuition in 17 years on our campus. Our students are taking out less debt than the average state university student. We've grown from 3 colleges to 10 colleges, and so we have very modern, contemporary academic programs. We have 22 advisory boards with 800 companies on those advisory boards, and so our students, when they graduate, are getting great jobs. And then the Christian worldview perspective is something that's very important in America. There are a lot of families that want their young people to study about the world in the context of the Christian worldview perspective, and that's an added feature of what we're doing here that attracts people.
Brian, you're talking a little bit about the numbers, but when you walk on GCU's campus, we can see a little bit of the walkway there behind you over your shoulder. There is definitely a culture that exists. I mean, there is a school spirit and a number of other things. How do you create that culture and keep it going year after year?
It's people talk about that all the time. The students are friendly. They hold the door open. They are happy. There's not a lot of we don't have protests and rock throwing and all those kind of things. There's a lot of things that go into it, but the Christian, the foundation, 80% of our kids come here because it is a Christian university. And so that common belief system really creates some commonality to the experience. But then there is above and beyond that, there is the greater good that's being served here. We believe that God put us in this neighborhood, which has got a lot of need for a reason, that he wanted us to reach out, and he wanted us to not just grow the university and all that is inside these walls, but he wanted us to have an impact on everything that happens outside these walls. And that draws people together. It gives them a sense of a purpose that goes above and beyond just what we're trying to accomplish here inside the university. we are attracting a certain kind of student. I was walking around yesterday. I gave orientation so the parents know who I am. They are so appreciative of the $2 billion campus, of the modern and contemporary academic programs, of the fact that it's very affordable, that students are graduating in many cases in 3 years and not accumulating a lot of debt. All of those things add to how people are excited about being here.
It's great, Brian. It really is. I mean, there's so much a great energy on campus. We have a very active chat on our YouTube channel. One of the questions for you from RLS Vids is, who chose the color purple for the school and why?
You know, there were some really good decisions made in 1949 when the university started in Prescott. One was to be the antelopes. There was a herd of antelopes that would wander through the campus in 1949, and there's only 2 universities in the country that have antelopes as a mascot, and so that was a really good decision. Grand Canyon University's name and the identification with the Arizona and that iconic place in Arizona, the Grand Canyon, was a really good decision. And then purple. Purple is very, it's distinguishing. The combination of those 3 things we thought were really good decisions, and we were happy to build on them when we came here.
And your commitment to athletics, I think, is something that we got to talk. We only got about a minute till we got to hit our break here. But, I mean, it's really been remarkable. You guys now are almost, I don't want to say automatic to the big dance, but you're going to be a name that's talked about every year. How'd you achieve that? And yes or no, ever in the future football? You know, our athletic program has grown tremendously, and the support of our program by our students is what really stands out. We have 21 Division I athletic programs. We've been in the national tournament in many of them. You're right, in basketball, we've been there 4 of the last 5 years. 2 years ago, we were a couple minutes from going to the Final Four because we were up on Alabama, but the students have rallied behind our athletic programs in a very, very unique way. The student section is called the Havoc section. They're unbelievably supportive. Our athletes are appreciative of that. There's just a real good feeling about that program that's shared between the athletes and the students, and that carries over to us selling season tickets. People want to be a part of that. And so things have really gone well for us that way. Women's softball is been done tremendously well. Women's volleyball, I could go on and on, but you know, we have the largest intramural program on campus in the country. We have the largest club sports program. We have huge programs in theater, music, dance, debate. All those things contribute to a very, very vibrant campus environment that really is attractive to students. We got to take a break, Brian. If you've got 2 more minutes, come back. A couple more questions, we'll let you go. Thank you. Okay, everybody, welcome back. That is a beautiful town somewhere. I wonder if that is back there in Virginia. It looks a little bit like the Blue Ridge, but that's for a future mystery cam for a future day. Celeste,
Yes.
if it's Lynchburg, Virginia, which I think it actually is, believe it or not, I once actually interviewed Jerry Falwell,
Did you really?
who was the founder of Liberty University. I don't know if that'll impress our guest right here.
Oh, I think it will. Look,
How
we're
about
getting the
that?
nod.
How about that, Brian? Yeah, I actually interviewed him. That is one beautiful campus, but just like yours.
Liberty University, we've become really good friends. They have a new president there who's doing a great job. And we have a lot of common purposes to share. And so they are really the largest Christian university on the East Coast. We're the largest Christian university on the West Coast. And so we've started scheduling each other in athletics. And so it's a great relationship. They're doing a great job out there.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. I have to say, I do see a difference in your student population. I have to say that I've taught classes there, broadcasting and podcasting, and it's a wonderful university that you have there, Brian. Here's a question for you as you look ahead into the future. When you see areas maybe that you want to bring onto campus in terms of study for students, is there an area of study that you guys are hoping to bring onto campus or that you all are interested in, like for students who may be looking ahead to the future?
Well, all the technology areas, certainly, all the engineering areas. Arizona is just going to experience a tremendously strong economy the next 10 years, and a lot of it's going to be in those technical areas. And so there's lots of opportunity for students there. And then AI. We've got to get AI integrated into all aspects of what we do here, both our academic programs and as well as the individual courses. So as students leave here, they absolutely, AI is not going to replace jobs as much as people who understand and can use AI are going to replace people who don't. And so one of the things that we want to make sure of is that as we move forward, whether you're in education or healthcare or the natural sciences or engineering, that you are AI literate and you know how to use it, when to use it, when not to use it, how to use it to bring about greater human flourishing. That's something that I think we want to be a leader in and make sure that all of our graduates have an understanding of that.
All right, Brian, we really appreciate your time. So far, you win the award for our favorite guest of the week, but it's only Tuesday.
I'll take it.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, it's just great to
Thanks
see
for
the growth
having
of
me.
GCU.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. And wonderful to see that you have a president of a university you can call on and you can just chat with him like we're chatting here at the table.
Oh my gosh, yes. We actually have put in multiple requests to interview the president of the other university here in town.
Yeah,
ASU,
and we're waiting.
Michael Crow. So yeah, hopefully once he sees how good that interview just was, he'll jump on the phone and say, okay, let's make it happen. All right, more storm coverage now. How about this? Our own Dominique Newland had her phone out, was taking pictures from her apartment. She's looking out over the city and all of a sudden, boom, check this out. Okay. Yeah, that's Dom on her day off, as a matter of fact. She said things seem to be up and running despite that explosion a few blocks away. We're still trying to figure out exactly what it was. But hey, look, there were plenty of people who lost power. I mean, I was chatting with one of our viewers from out in Mesa, 4 hours yesterday afternoon and into the evening with no air conditioning, no lights on. The number, I believe, was at one point 70,000, but SRP and APS, they do a really good job, Celeste, of getting the lights back on and the AC too.
Quick too, Ron.
Right.
I mean, some people were out of power maybe for just like about 20 minutes.
Yes.
And
how about
boom,
that?
they were on it. Thank you to all of those line workers too.
Yeah, for sure.
Busy season for them.
Okay, so now on to the big topic of the day nationally. We have a president who is attempting to, or may already have, we're still trying to figure it out, fire. Boy, that's creating some sparks and some headlines. Here's my chat with Fox's Doug Lucero.
Likely to hear much more about this later this morning as the president holds a cabinet meeting. But this appears to be just the latest move in the president's ongoing battle with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve still under construction here in Washington, and now President Trump is tearing down part of its leadership, firing one of the board's governors, Lisa Cook, after the head of mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac accused her of mortgage fraud.
In Ms. Cook's case, it appears, from what we can tell, to be blatant mortgage fraud.
Cook had been accused of claiming 2 primary residences in Michigan and Atlanta, a move some have used to get preferable interest rates. In a letter posted last night on Truth Social, President Trump fired her, writing, "The American people must be able to have full confidence in the honesty of the members entrusted with setting policy and overseeing the Federal Reserve."
I'd fire him.
This ramps up the president's ongoing battle with Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, with his growing frustration over interest rates. Cook has responded, emailing a statement to the Associated Press. President Trump purported to fire me for cause when no cause exists under the law, and he has no authority to do so. I will not resign. Fed governors like Cook are appointed to staggered 14-year terms in an effort to insulate them from day-to-day politics. Her firing is expected to touch off a legal battle with the White House. Critics here on Capitol Hill, and there are a number of them, say this latest move is a threat to the Fed's independence. Ron.
Well, so we'll see how the market reacts to all of this today, Doug. But the allegation itself has been out there. I feel like it's kind of been floating around for a week and a half. Has she done any explanation as to maybe this was some sort of an innocent mistake? Obviously, you can't have 2 primary residences, but beyond saying I'm not leaving, have we heard much more?
We haven't heard a detailed explanation behind why there may have been the dual claims of primary residence. People do get prosecuted for this. I mean, it can be a ploy to get a better interest rate on a property that ends up being a rental property, say. But we have not heard a detailed explanation. What we have heard from the, I guess now former governor, we'll see, is that she does not intend to resign and that there is not cause for her dismissal.
Okay, so here comes our poll question. Stand by, everybody. Big D, we're going to get to you in just a second.
Big D!
So how do we pull up the... I'm trying to punch the poll question, you guys. Maybe I'll just let you take it full.
Try not punching it, Ron, and just try being a little bit more gentle.
Okay, let me tap the poll question.
Tappity, like Adam Sandler. Tap, tap, tappity, tap, tap.
I could see it there in our preview monitor, so I
don't know,
it's
but
around.
does Big D's chair look like a gaming chair? Is he playing? Is he playing like Grand Theft Auto in that chair? What is happening?
Believe me, I'm trying to gently tap my camera, your camera.
And I guess the computer system want us to talk to Dave.
And everything I punch, and we got Big D.
Big D!
So we'll, I do see the poll question up. Oh, let me try that. Where is that on ENG 23?
Yeah,
let me punch over there.
We're working on it. I can show you. I can go over the review.
Yeah, okay, Big D. Let's go to Dave. Although you'll have to bring his microphone up because I can't quite hear him.
Hear me?
But go ahead, Big D.
Check. Can you hear me?
You're there.
Oh, okay, super. Yeah, the Fox 10 Talks poll question on YouTube. President Trump fires Fed governor over mortgage fraud allegations. Good. The job's too important to have any fraud allegations is at 42%. This is with more than 715 votes. Bad. He has no authority to fire her. Has 53%. And rates must fall, even if it means shaking up the Fed. That's at about 5%. I can read a few of the different comments that we've been getting. Gordon Pelto, 1069, says he has all the authority to fire her. Interest rates need to come down. She is terrible at this job. Bob Bartlett in Peoria says to those voting that the president has no authority to remove Federal Reserve governors, you are incorrect. A president may remove a governor for cause, and mortgage fraud allegations are cause. The allegations call into question the integrity of the particular governor. And finally, RLS Vids says the woman claimed primary residence on 2 houses, intentional fraud. That doesn't accidentally happen. I don't want someone like that in any position of power. So great to see so many people commenting and voting. Keep it up, guys.
So that's interesting because I think that's a little bit of background. Because when you just hear the headline, you're like, what did she do? Why her?
Well, yeah. I mean, Sure.
That gives a little bit of background. There's an article online, and it says in a letter dated August 15th and posted to X, Federal Housing Finance Agency Director Bill Pulte, a Trump appointee, urged Pam Bondi, the AG, to investigate a pair of mortgages she took out in 2021.
Oh, so that's the backstory.
Yeah, one in Michigan, one, I know we love looking at Big D's face.
Yeah.
One in Michigan, one in Georgia, according to this article, and it stipulated both of them were her primary residences.
I'm just going to jump in. So, Brian, I'm going to totally let you start punching the buttons here. I've totally lost control. But if you want to call up Syleste on her camera.
When Ron
that shot I like.
That is
that
a shot.
One's okay, but I like that other one. That's the one I'm really thinking. So anyway, it happened roughly the same time in the same year.
Yes.
And you can't have two primary residences.
Yeah. And so it said then it changed. Her Georgia home was later listed as a rental. It doesn't change the fact that she initially falsified bank documents, property records to acquire more favorable loan terms, potentially committing mortgage fraud under the criminal statute. Because if it's your primary residence, then you get lower credit scores to qualify, mortgage loans, things like that. There's a little bit of favorability. So that's the claim right now as to why her.
Okay. Well, hey, since the fan club is, I'm going to let you, Bri.
Love it. I'm Big D.
Yeah.
Big D.
I'm going to let you pull up VO1, Brian, with some of our monsoon images from the last 24 hours or so. But, Dave, before we hit the break, what was your situation yesterday at your place?
Just keep smiling, Ron.
Don't worry.
Just keep holding it
There's
all
Dave,
day.
Cam. Okay.
Yeah, the monsoon was pretty nuts at my house. I was driving my daughter to choir practice, and we got caught in the middle of it. So pretty chaotic.
Did you turn around, or I mean,
no?
you just kept
choir practice. This is a priority for my daughter.
This is number one.
Yes, it is. Did you guys practice on the way, like do re mi's and things like that?
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah. Speaking of, have you guys seen that video that's out there? I think it's called Max and Savannah.
Oh.
And I think it's a father-daughter duo.
Okay.
Who started singing on YouTube, and now they've taken over the internet.
Oh.
They're incredible.
Dave, you and your daughter are next.
Okay, what's your daughter's name?
Sophie.
Okay.
Big D.
And Sophie.
Yeah.
Big D and Sophie.
Yes.
Okay, break time. Thank goodness. We're gonna hit the mystery camera.
Oh, that's a mystery guest.
Yes,
It's going to be here soon.
You're going to want to stay tuned for the last 15 minutes.
This is going to be fun.
Who knows what happens?
Get ready.
Testing.
Our mystery guest is
Yeah, here she is.
Hey.
right
Hi,
here.
Bella.
Hi,
Good
Bella.
morning.
Okay,
Good
so what was the
morning.
storm action like for you?
I was driving home. Thankfully, I was about 5 minutes away from home, but it
Okay.
was a very long 5 minutes. I
Yeah.
was in the haboob, almost zero visibility, so it was pretty intense. And then I got back to my apartment to discover the power was out, couldn't go up the elevator, so
Oh no!
it was a little crazy.
Did you have to take the stairs then?
did.
Oh,
How many?
no.
How many
The
flights?
humanity.
Thankfully,
In
only
heels,
2
Ron,
flights.
it is.
Only 2 flights, but it was intense.
Yeah. Well, it's harder
Yeah.
if you have groceries.
Well, and how long did it take to get the power back on?
Only 20 minutes.
That's not bad.
Yes.
Are you a APS or SRP?
APS.
Okay, good for
But
them.
it could have been out for a lot longer prior to when I was home.
Yes.
But from getting
Sure.
home until when it came on. it was
Ron,
20
where were
minutes.
you when the storm hit?
I was at my house
Uh huh.
and really texting because that video that I shared a few minutes ago, I think, let me see, I think I can pump it up right here. Okay, so this is from Ryan, and that's
Yeah.
out there in the East Valley. A few miles away from there, my son Jordan, he grabs, and I said, that's too good. I'm going to have to share that with everybody on the pod
Yeah.
tomorrow or on the streaming show, and I'll show you. That's his video. That's their street. And that wall, and Krystal told us that's 5,000 feet high.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. So yeah, East Valley really got hit, but it looks like everybody got hit.
Everybody got hit. We
Everybody got hit.
were in the middle of a parking lot. It's funny. Bella sat down. She goes, "I loved your practice chronicles. Like I chronicled it in my Instagram stories."
I was invested.
We were sitting there for a while and not sure if practice was going to resume. I thought for sure the McDowell Mountains would break it up, but no way. It came through so fast. And then all the girls and the kids were running to the cars and huddled in there and were waiting to see if practice was going to get canceled. And you could hear the rocks and the debris from the dust storm hit your vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it's not just the dust. Think of everything it picks up like a tornado.
And these images of Mountain America Stadium where the Sun Devils play, that was so impressive. A lot of the videos are time lapse, but even without the time lapse, we all felt it. We all saw how fast it really was moving across the desert floor. So
Oh, yeah.
anyway, glad that our TV station, so this is our streaming show, but
Yeah.
our TV station was actually knocked off the air for about an hour.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder if I chimed in on our Fox Local app about 5 p.m. What time
Okay.
did we lose power?
About 5:50 p.m.
Okay, so I was watching before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it rolled through downtown.
Well, so another story that we're going to talk about, it's somewhat weather related. It takes us to the East Coast. There's a guy who is he's a rideshare guy
Uh-huh.
driving around. I don't know if he's new to the area or what, but you're going to see him swirl around, take a right. And I don't think he realized, maybe his Google Maps or whatever map app told him, hey, you got to take a right here. But look what happens to this guy. Let me make sure I got the right one here. Nope. Okay, hold on.
That would be a hard right
Yeah,
in that jet. Ooh,
oh,
okay.
boy. Oh, you know what's happening?
Oh.
We're starting to load some video for later in the show.
Oh, got it.
If you have the video of the rideshare guy. Oh, here we go.
Oh, here he
okay.
is.
Isle of Palms police. Look, he turned around. He came too fast, and all of a sudden he's like,
no.
yikes, here. Now, look, innocent bystander wading through the water says, this could be trouble. I think that guy is floating. His car is floating.
So is he new to the city?
He must have been.
Not
the
knowing.
way he came around that corner without knowing, buddy, you're about to like drive into a river here or a lake. It's so serious that the tires lose contact. And that's when you know the car is most likely going to sink. Look at this, though. See those two guys? They come up.
Doing that in the dark is so
crazy.
impressive.
And you don't know what's in the water. Driver taken to the
Yeah.
hospital with only minor injuries. But police said that they both saved him before the car sank, quote unquote.
Talk about a good Samaritan.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then look
Fortunately,
at-
he's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here he is one more time. He's just going too fast.
But it's so dark, I think from where he was at, he might not have even seen that it was water. He
It's
probably just thought it was
gotta
another
be.
street.
Hopefully, it
Right.
wasn't like a Waze app, or a Google Maps.
Right.
And they need to update their programming.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a good question. They get the construction zones and lower speed limits and all that. But if it's just been raining cats and dogs and it's suddenly flooded in the last hour, maybe they don't update that fast. Who knows?
Yeah, that is crazy.
They do say if you're in a similar situation, you stay calm, you unbuckle. If you have to, you break a window, you swim to safety. We have seen those devices that the police use to break a window. It's almost just like tap, tap, tap.
Yeah.
And boy, I don't know. I haven't bought one of those yet, but it's I'm convinced that's a good thing to have in your vehicle.
You know, I just looked up the article. It says the driver, whose name was not released, drove into Morgan Creek when heavy rain obscured his vision and he failed to differentiate the roadway in the marina.
Oh,
So it was raining so hard he couldn't really tell where he was going.
yeah.
Yep, they have all those tropical storms over there right now,
Yes.
so that makes sense. It probably flooded out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe there was kind of a roadway in there or something.
Probably.
Yeah, poor guy.
Okay, so a couple of more stories, and then we're going to clear the way here for, let's see, I think today it's Danielle and Ty.
Yes.
Yes, okay. A couple more stories. It's PSL Day, you guys. Are you excited about this?
What is that, Ron?
Well,
You're kind of a hip guy.
yeah, no kidding. It's a drink at a coffee shop, Celeste.
I know, I'm kidding.
Ask the Starbucks barista, you guys.
I know. Yeah.
Pumpkin spice latte.
How long did you work at that job, by the way?
I worked there for the summer between my freshman year of college and sophomore year.
Good
so,
for
like
you.
3 months. But I learned how to make all the drinks.
You know, we should have you in on the morning show to show us how to make it.
I still have my apron.
I have to say, if you
Wow.
have a tween daughter out there, they probably, like Kalina, she's 13. She, last night was like, Poppy, can we leave a little bit early because PSL is launching tomorrow for school? And he was like, what is a PSL?
Pumpkin spice latte.
So people actually are very excited about this.
Oh, yeah. I've seen many people post it on their stories today already. So
So today's the day. This is like the unofficial launch of fall, at least according to Starbucks, that's for sure. Some of the other things, a pumpkin cream cheese muffin. Did they have that back in the day, to Isabel?
Yeah.
Okay, how about the iced pumpkin cream chai?
that is fairly new, but they have had it.
And the pecan crunch oat milk latte. That
That's
sounds
the new
pretty
drink.
interesting.
That's the new drink.
That
Okay.
sounds really good.
Yeah.
Oat milk.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yummy.
Anyway, they do say there was something about some kind of a new protein sandwich that's like a little
Ooh.
Italian or Mediterranean.
Italian sausage,
Okay.
egg bites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe so.
We might have to try it and
I
report
know.
back.
Would you all have a favorite pumpkin item as we kind of edge our way into fall?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, you go first.
Pumpkin pie.
I'm with you.
Yeah, me
Oh.
too.
Anything on top, straight up or whipped cream?
Whipped cream.
Okay.
I might have straight up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're a purist in the pumpkin pie world.
Yeah, I'm a pumpkin pie purist.
I love
And I
that.
love that the crust
Oh,
is
yeah.
like so good.
You
Yeah.
guys, I am an October baby, and every year growing up, I declined having a birthday cake because I wanted a pumpkin pie cake.
Wow.
So my mom would get the big pumpkin pie from Costco and put
Yes.
a little
I
candle.
was
What is
gonna say,
what
that's
day
a
in
good-
October is your birthday?
The 28th.
Okay, make a mental note.
Yes, everybody.
I did throw this in there. Pumpkin bread is actually very delicious as well. Melinda said
Yes.
that's her favorite pumpkin treat. Darren Lloyd said pumpkin seeds, which are also in Spanish called pepitas, and they actually can roast them and throw them on top of a salad, like you would like pecans or walnuts or something like that.
So good.
Brandy the Bookworm says Costco pumpkin pie drowned in whipped cream. That is the best deal in town.
Absolutely.
$5.99.
Really?
Let's hope they
Okay.
don't raise the price.
No. Spotify just announced today. Everybody's going up. Hold the line, Costco.
Hold the line.
Hold the line. Hey, one last story, you guys. So now the controversy grows over Cracker Barrel. Did
Oh,
you hear who
boy.
came out this morning and said, just admit it was a bad move and go back to the original logo?
Yeah.
It's what you've been known for. Did you hear who was saying that?
No.
Let me make sure I get the name correct on here. Let me just dig into this. Oh, President Trump.
Oh,
How about that?
My goodness.
Yeah.
I wonder if he frequents a Cracker Barrel. Is there one like in maybe Florida, like near,
Sure.
Wow.
I don't know.
I know
but
they're really
surely
popular in the
Mar-a-Lago.
South.
Yeah,
so
they are huge in
probably.
the South.
Maybe.
Good point. So he says this. This is on True Social. Cracker Barrel should go back to the old logo. admit a mistake based on the customer response, which is the ultimate poll, and manage the company better than ever before. So it's not like he's really trying to get down on them. He's just saying, manage this company better than ever before, like you sort of were. He said they got $1 billion worth of free publicity if they play their cards right.
That's so true.
How about that, right?
Yeah, and he was quite the businessman, so maybe that's some good ideas for Cracker Barrel.
Definitely.
Okay, so we'll see how that all plays out. But my prediction is they are going to go back to the original logo. By the way, they have already said, well, now hold on. We won't take it off the menu. You'll see it in store. But, we thought we'd roll out this new, more generic. I don't think they use the word generic, but it is a generic.
What is that?
Cracker Barrel sign now.
Oh, yeah, without the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually drove by. I wonder if they're going to leave the guy on there if he's already there. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think the sign that's what was supposed to change was the sign.
Yes.
Well, poor guy. Who's the guy? Like, is it some guy in the South?
It's like Uncle Howard or something.
Well, poor Uncle Howard.
If we only
He's
had
probably
time.
rolling over in his grave thinking, what did I do?
And what about the relatives, the grandkids, the great-grandkids who were hopefully getting free meals?
And
For life.
driving by and saying, there's the sign, where's Uncle Howard?
Yeah,
Where did Grandpa go?
Oh, my goodness. That's really
I
sad,
know.
actually.
It's a
Okay, now
heartbreaker.
this is really
I know.
turning a
It's
different...
a downer.
I'm so hungry.
Okay, and I
Let's
tell
go
you
back
what.
to
I'm hungry.
PSL.
All right.
I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. Where's the pumpkin pie?
So we love it when Bella pops in for a little visit.
Yes,
I'm
we
looking
do.
for Ty.
Thank you.
Wondering if he's
They're
going to come in
occupied
and.
with the dogs outside.
They're still
Oh, is that what's
conversing.
happening?
Yeah.
So we've ironed out all the kinks.
Yes.
And the 11 a.m. hour is going to be one of the best we've ever had.
Yeah.
So here comes Ty now, as a matter of fact, to promote what it's all about.
And to bring the dogs. Do you want to bring a dog over?
Here
Come
we
here,
go.
Danielle.
Oh, Danielle's coming in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Danielle.
Come right over here to Bella's chair
Bella, you can
and
hang.
tell
you
us.
can still hang here.
Yeah. Tell us what's coming up at 11.
So we have a really cool little dog. It's a National Dog Day for folks out there who don't know.
Yeah.
So we're celebrating our four-legged friends.
Nice.
We have a very special guest coming in. I don't know how well we can see that.
Tilly.
Tilly.
Does Tilly have one eye?
She's so cute. She does.
Aw,
but
she's
lots of
cute.
love.
Yeah.
So she volunteers at Phoenix Children's as like a therapy dog.
How nice.
So she's out there. You guys better stand by. You guys can meet her. We're talking all things though too. Pumpkin spice, lattes, all the above.
All right, Danielle. See you there.
You betcha.
It's the last one.
Well, welcome on back to Fox 10 Talks. Danielle hanging out with us on another Tuesday here on Fox 10 Talks.
That's right. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, let's talk about the storm last night.
Oh, my goodness.
Insane, yeah?
Insanity. So I'm in Ahwatukee Foothills, and I was talking to my sister. We're on FaceTime. It's my little nephew's birthday, and it's perfectly sunny out. We're looking out and everything, and then all of a sudden, it's like pitch black in my house, and Millery, my daughter's like, Mommy, is it nighttime? That was quick. Yeah. I'm like, yes, go to bed.
No, it was wild. I was actually like scrolling through Instagram, and I actually saw meteorologist Krystal Ortiz starting to post over in the East Valley that she started to see the dust wall starting to move in from the East Valley. So I quickly turned on Fox 10, and our team was doing such a fantastic job last night tracking the storm. But it was the same thing. Like, I was watching it get closer and closer to my house. That dust wall moved in, the wind picked up, and then the rain. Man, it was insane.
But thankfully, the rain did come, because if you even just went outside, I remember I went outside just to obviously get a couple quick photos. The whole back of my phone was like covered in dust. Yeah, because I have on my personal phone here the little sticky, kind of the grippy one, and it was just like caked in dust. And then all of a sudden the rain came, and it was awesome at that point because it kind of washed everything out.
That's true. Well, hopefully all of you at home didn't get too much damage, because I mean, it was
Did you
wild
lose power?
storm. I did lose power for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Which the last storm that we had, I lost power for, maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Ooh, yeah, that's
so
not
as soon
fun.
as the light started flickering, I immediately ran over to the AC, cranked it way down to like try and
Blast
cool
yourself?
that. Yeah, and cool the house down just in case we lost power. But man, it was a wild night out there.
It was.
And you know who we always love to talk to when we have some of these storms? Our friend Mike. If you've ever watched Fox 10, we get to use Mike's photos quite often.
Yeah.
You're the storm chaser extraordinaire, I should say. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We are doing well. Danielle, can you hear him?
Let me see.
Hold on. Give us 1 second. Okay, we should be good, Mike. Can we hear you again?
Yeah.
All right.
Can you guys hear me?
I hear him over there, but not in the headphones.
Okay, that's all right.
We're going to make it work.
We're going to make this work.
The storm
Hey, you
just
got your
throws
power
everything
back,
off.
so that's good. I'm sure there's still technical difficulties going on, right?
I think we do have some gremlins, because we actually went off air here at Fox 10
lost
last
power
night from that massive storm.
I talked to John Hook last night, and they were holding the mic up, or the phone up to their mic just to get the sound to work. So
whatever it takes.
Yeah, whatever it takes to get TV on the air, Mike. You know how this works. Let's talk about this, because you have been here in the Valley for quite a while, and you chase storms kind of all around the Southwest and the Midwest too, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And let's talk about this storm in particular, because this was one of those well-defined, perfect haboobs that started to roll in.
It was a doozy. Like it definitely vaulted all the way to number 2 on my list of dust storm haboob chases. The last good one was in 2018, and it was one that went basically from Casa Grande, Gila Bend, all the way to Yuma. So not even impacting, but it looked like this one. Like, it was great, but nothing in the Phoenix area has looked like this since 2011. And so, of course, everybody's like, well, how does it compare? Does it look like that? Does it look like 2011? Do you think it's the same thing? And I think 2011 was a big deal, and this was just about the closest second you could get to that. It was, oh my gosh, it was awesome. We were down by Picacho Peak, and we kind of saw it emerging from west of there. I guess probably out of Tohono O'odham, where this wall of storms were pushing up, and we could see the shelf cloud and the dust underneath it. And we followed it all the way to Phoenix. And at one point by Eloy, I wasn't sure we were going to stay ahead of it. Wow. And I never had that problem. This thing was moving fast.
Yeah. And Krystal was mentioning that this morning on AZAM about the 2011 situation. I wasn't here for that, but she said it's very comparable. She was also saying that that's kind of where it originates, typically, is right at that Picacho Peak area. And that's when you see that massive, it almost looks like a wave.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
And it just travels right up the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it did. And I had some people with me, and it looked really good approaching Eloy. But you're right, Picacho Peak, there's a lot of dust. And the big bulk of this originated, usually it comes off the Catalinas and goes through that area. But this also was coming from Tohono O'odham going straight north. And I was like, when it hits Eloy and Casa Grande, just wait. And it went from kind of like a wall of dust, and it hit Eloy, and all of a sudden density and folds and all this stuff started forming. And it just right before our eyes, it turned to epic. And at Casa Grande, we were on the north side of it watching it, and there were other storm chasers there from out of town, and all these people, we had people, locals, and like a truck, these kids watching it freak out, and it just became this dense, beast. It was, you can see my face. For me, I love this stuff. So,
well, Mike, we actually have a piece of your video that you sent us, and this is what you captured last night. I don't know if you can see it from where you are.
Yeah, I can see it. This was at the airport, so this was our last stop. I wanted to let it overtake us, and we just had nowhere else to go to get into town fast enough because this thing is moving. And the wide view of that right here is insane.
It almost looks
and
like
it just got better as they hit Phoenix too. That's what's incredible. And you see the clouds at the top, the wider clouds on top of the dust. That's like clouds forming at the top, which is right there. This is incredible.
Oh my gosh.
And how do you, I've always been, obviously we have here our radar and everything. As a storm chaser, what does your day look like? You said there was a lot of other people out there. Was this something that you guys were talking about in the industry? Like, hey, there's a big one going to hit tonight, or how does it work?
Well, I don't always like to tell people that stuff like this is going to happen, because then everybody gets all hyped up. And I told the people I was with, I go, hey, it's 50-50 that this even happens today. But basically, 36 hours before this happened, the models narrowed in on it. We use a model run that comes out every hour called the HRRR. Every hour for 36 hours, it had something like this. Just little different here and there, but super strong winds pushing, north of Casa Grande. Wow. And then you're sitting there watching the storms unfold, and it looks exactly like the model, except it's actually better to me from what the models were showing. And so you're prepared for it. You know what's going to happen. You can look at the models, what they think the wind's going to do, what the storms are going to do. And, we're prepared, and I wish I would have gotten a little more sleep the night before. I was out really late shooting the lightning over Phoenix at 3 a.m. But I got a couple hours sleep, but adrenaline and excitement overcomes all. So it was great.
Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not a meteorologist, right? This is just kind of years and years of kind of studying how these storms develop here in Arizona.
Yeah, I'm not, and it's weird how you learn a ton by osmosis, by friends, by chasing. And, yesterday there's like all this nerdy weather stuff where usually we don't get something like this, but there was actual shear, which kind of kept the storms alive. When this thing hit, we're at the airport, it went dark, as you guys were talking about earlier, like all the lights came on. And then we were sitting there for 10 minutes rocking around, maybe 15. And then all of a sudden it started clearing out. And then behind it was like a wall of rain. Yeah. Almost like, it was not hurricane, but there was trees getting knocked down. We were leaving the airport, and there was a lady out of her car trying to hold a tree up from blowing over. Oh man. And we were like, lady, you just got to let it go.
We don't recommend that.
But we don't get that kind of rain behind these things very often. It actually pushed all that dust out. And that's kind of unusual. All the way from the south, we had a wall of storms behind the dust where it actually just poured rain and strong winds. And it was that was a storm that I've not seen happen around these parts for years.
Yeah.
Mike, we're getting some pretty good questions from our viewers here in the chat. Someone is asking, how do you protect your photography equipment when you're in these crazy situations that you put yourself in?
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you protect yourself?
We're
all hiding out in our home.
I don't. So I had some people, like a local newspaper was following around. They happened to pick a really good day to go with me. And, I'm nervous because there's all these stops we did before here. I would leave early because I didn't want to get stuck in it. And I didn't know how, I don't want them to be out in the dust. But here, the videographer with us said, are we going to let it hit us? And I go, yeah, this is where it's going to hit us. And I wanted the dust to hit my cameras because, as you can see here, letting it kind of hit the camera really, complete the impact of the time lapse. And so how do I protect it? I really don't. I just let it hit and deal with it.
You have insurance on that, baby, I'm sure.
You don't work here at
I have insurance. I do this professionally. So if anything happens, I get it repaired or I can get it replaced. So
No,
you would almost think it's like going to the beach. The next day, the next month, you're just going to be chewing on, dust crystals.
And I had a friend point at me because I have a 4Runner and I had the whole back, hatch up. And someone goes, Mike, your hatch is up right when it's hitting. I'm like, oh, well.
Oopsie.
Like there's already dust in there from the stuff this season. It's just going to get worse. And I just didn't worry about it. So.
Well, Mike, we appreciate you sharing this video. Do you have a couple more seconds so we can ask you a couple more questions, or do you have to go?
Absolutely. No, I'm good.
How did you kind of get into this, and how did this become your hobby? And now you kind of are our go-to guy whenever we have a storm. We're like, oh wait, we got to get on Mike's Instagram to see what he's finding.
Really, it was just born out of passion for storms. I'm born and raised here. I just turned 50 this year, so I've been here 50 years. My dad loved storms. We would sit outside and watch them, and so I grew up loving them. And if you're around here, what are we all talking about today? Obviously the wall of dust was a big deal, but let's say we had no dust, but we had all the rain and wind and down trees go through. We'd all be talking about it. How nice was it last night and this morning out? The weather, it was breezy. It was like 80 degrees or something. It was, so that's what we all love. And so I just grew up being fascinated with lightning. And about 2008, 2009, I started getting into wanting to learn how to do lightning photography and then want to do time lapse. And I happened to want to start learning time lapse in July 5th, 2011, like the day before. And then the big dust storm happened then. And that set me on a path of like, holy crap, like this is really fun.
Yeah.
People wanted to license that footage and I would do it for free. And so then I just kept chasing and doing time lapse and stills. And it just blew up into, a career that, I do this full time and I do other photography and stuff, and it's a struggle, photography full time with 3 kids and stuff is a challenge. And but I'm blessed to be able to do it. And just stuff like last night makes it just all worth it. You wait years and years to chase storms and see something like that. And some people are like, man, get inside. It's dusty. That's bad. It's bad for the environment. Valley fever. Like all that stuff it's all true, but it's going to happen anyway. So I'm there to capture it, and it's nature. It's beautiful, and I love sharing it with people because people don't get to see that kind of stuff very much. There's people around the world right now seeing that who have never seen anything like that.
You're a daredevil.
Well, it's so funny because I woke up this morning. We were on the BBC, we were on the AP, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post. Everybody was posting about us here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
We got about 20 seconds, Mike, but if folks want to follow you on Instagram, because your Instagram is incredible, what is it?
It's just Mike Olbinski on Instagram, and go to YouTube because I have this time lapse there and some other. I'm going to have a whole chase vlog, the whole story of the day chasing it up there soon. So just look up my name and you'll find it.
Thank you again for everything. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. We'll be back in 2 minutes. I got to turn the mics on. There we go. Well, welcome back. We've got some special guests. A couple people in the chat are asking Mike's last name and how to spell it. It is Olbinski. And go follow it because I'm not kidding. The photos that he posts are just absolutely
He sits out in the storms, so you don't have to. Bingo.
Right? All right. Before we get to our next guest, which you can see are here, and they're very cute.
So cute.
Tilly, look at little Tilly.
Much cuter than Ty.
Okay, yes. We all know that. Danielle, thank you so much. I was going to put Danielle in for a little test here because today is National Dog Day. We all love dogs here at Fox 10. So they came out with a list. The top 10 dog breeds are the most popular here in the United States.
Okay.
Now I'm putting you on the spot. Can you name the number one dog breed in the United States, Danielle?
Ooh.
And don't look at my screen. You can play too. Everybody here.
I mean, I could probably name maybe 5 that are on that list, but I'm going to go with like a Yorkie because so many people have little Yorkies.
Okay, that's a good guess, but guess what?
It's wrong.
It's wrong. So the number one dog breed, Labrador Retriever.
I was going to say that, but then I'm like, oh, they're kind of too big for a lot of people.
Yeah, but then look, number 2 I thought was kind of interesting, Chihuahua.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Tilly. Getting some love.
Number 3, the Golden Retriever.
Okay. Yep.
Number 4, the American Pit Bull Terrier.
Okay.
Number 5, German Shepherd. Number 6, which I think is just blown up in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
The French Bulldog.
Oh, totally.
Everybody's got a Frenchie.
Yeah. See, I would think English Bulldog would be.
What? Okay, wait. I don't know if I know the difference.
Oh boy.
Is the English Bulldog is like the more of like the.
Yeah, and they don't have the pointy, like the up ears. Like it's more of like,
okay.
floppy ears,
Gotcha.
if you will.
Okay.
So.
They're the. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Then we got the Golden Doodle, the Shih Tzu. I always feel weird saying the word Shih Tzu on TV.
Nah, just say it.
Isabella, what kind of dog do you have again?
I have a Shih Tzu. For folks who didn't hear that, Ty, will you fill them in on what? Oh boy.
And then there's a Yorkshire Terrier, and then number 10 is the Dachshund.
Dachshund.
The
yeah,
Dachshund.
I would think. Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah.
About.
Right.
So the English Bulldog wasn't on there at all.
No English
What?
Bulldog, just the French. Number 6.
That's my favorite kind of dog. So.
All right.
Tough
well,
luck.
I've got the Golden Retriever.
Yeah.
And I've got
What is Myrtle?
And I've got the hair to prove it. Myrtle is a soft-coated Wheaten Terrier.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's a little.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Well, we've got some very special guests here this morning. Do you want to introduce them, Danielle?
Yep, we have Jenna here. And then Jenna, what's your title? What do you do exactly?
I am the director of Child Life and Volunteer Program.
Can you come just a little bit
Yeah,
closer?
absolutely. I'm sorry.
These mics are very
That's
touchy.
okay. That's okay. So director of Child Life and Volunteer Services.
Awesome. And then we have
Phoenix
Rennie over
Children's.
there.
Yes.
Okay.
And
then
you're one of the volunteers, right?
Yes. And I also work in IT at Phoenix Children's.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
So it's a double whammy.
you do it all.
Let's start with you. Let's talk about this volunteer program that you have there because your volunteers are really kind of the backbone of the hospital
Absolutely.
there. They really provide a lot, including Tilly, who is considered a volunteer, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So what is kind of Tilly's job at the hospital? Look at Tilly.
I know she was just showing she has her own little
Tilly
badge.
has her own.
Okay,
Hold on,
stop.
let me hold this up.
That is so cute.
Look at Tilly.
Oh.
And it's got her picture on it too.
Well, look too. When I first got in here, she even has her own cards.
Go that way. Look, she's got her trading cards.
Look at that. Oh, the green isn't showing
Yeah,
up. That's
but
what.
you get it.
You get it.
That
oh
is
my goodness! And she
fantastic.
even slapped it like that, which gave me her signature.
A
so
potograph.
A potograph. Okay.
Yes.
That is too cute.
Yes.
So cute. So what does Tilly do exactly?
So Tilly is one of our therapy animals. We have a whole team of animals and they're humans that come to the hospital and volunteer. Our animal-assisted therapy program has both volunteers that come with their dogs, and we also have 2 full-time dogs at our
Really?
hospital that are facility dogs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how long has this program been at Phoenix Children's Hospital?
About 25 years. So
Really?
it's been going on for a long time and has really grown from a couple of volunteers to a very robust program that we have today.
And I can only imagine that the kids in there must just, kids and parents must just light up when they see a dog walking through the halls of the hospital.
Absolutely. And that's the whole point, whether it is just normalizing the hospital environment, whether it's working on goals that are more on like the social or emotional side of things. Being a kid in the hospital is hard. Or whether it is working on some of those physical goals, like getting up and walking. It's much more fun to do when you're holding the leash of a dog than just walking down the halls of the hospital.
Wow.
And what would you say? You obviously interact with patients and their parents every single day. What is the mood? What is the energy when, say Tilly or any of the other dogs, can you physically see a change in the patients and their parents?
Absolutely, yeah. So I will just say the move to any children's hospital is not what you think of with a hospital. It is actually, Phoenix Children's is a great place to be, but it's because of the programs that we have, like our animal-assisted therapy program. And absolutely, the mood definitely shifts in the room when you go from just being in the hospital. We try to keep the kids entertained with normal things to do, but there's still a shift between sitting there coloring, doing an activity, and having a dog enter the room. That definitely changes the vibe for sure.
I can only imagine. Talk about kind of the program and how you, I guess, vet these volunteers to come in and be part of this amazing program at the hospital.
Sure. There are a handful of organizations that will do testing and certify dogs to make sure that they have the behavior and the right temperament. The couple dogs at home myself, I'll tell you, they do not have the behavior or the temperament.
Stuart and Myrtle would not.
Yeah, I have a Wheaten Terrier as well. So yeah, not every dog is cut out for this, and that's okay. But there are some dogs that are really special and just have that energy. And so there are a couple different organizations out there that will vet and certify therapy animals. We always ask that they get a little bit of experience, the handler and their animal, outside of the hospital, library, maybe another environment. And then we onboard them into the hospital like we would any other volunteer.
Now, there is like scientific proof behind like petting a dog, like it lowers your cortisol level. It helps your, you know what I mean? Like I can only imagine that bringing a pet in to kind of maybe sometimes a high stress situation at the hospital just really is kind of a big help.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're proud at Phoenix Children's that our previous coordinator of animal-assisted therapy did a study on just that. It's not just the emotional part of an animal being in the room, but there's actually a physiological response and changes in the body and the stress hormones. So there's, as you said, scientific proof that this is not just warm fuzzies, but it's actually good for kids' healing.
It's actually working. Yeah. And Tilly is so perfect, I have to say. You're like, yes, she is. I know. Just looking at her size, and she's not, I love big dogs, but she's perfect. I would say for the kids, especially too. She's not overwhelming. She's over here falling asleep on us. So Tilly, I feel you, girl.
So Tilly is very unique, and of course her size is very small, which means if a patient has a whole bed full of stuffies, she can snuggle right in that one little spot and just like, we call it murp, murp, murp. She'll just bury her little self right in so the patient can pet her. And also it's just great. She can fit right in the side of a wheelchair as a patient kind of goes to another part of the hospital and just be able to visit. Maybe if they have a tray table on top of their wheelchair, Tilly can go right on top of that. And she'll do her little tricks. She'll just smile.
Show off her manicure. I don't know if you guys can see that.
A little pedicure.
Oh my gosh, stop. We just see you, Ty. Sorry, guys.
Jump scare. But Rennie, let's talk about why you wanted to become a volunteer at Phoenix Children's.
I mean, I love working at the hospital. I just wanted to give back a little bit more. I feel so strongly in our mission and in helping everyone that I work there 5 days a week, and I come back every Saturday and bring a therapy dog to just be around the kids. And even just walking through the doors, people smile when they see a dog, and that's kind of like the residual, the second part of our visit. And when we go in the rooms with the kids, that door knock, hi, I'm with Animal Assisted Therapy. Would you like to see a dog today? And they're moving everything out of the way, and they're like, yes. And then some patients might be playing that they're asleep, and as soon as they hear there's a dog. They're now suddenly awake.
I'm sure it kind of shifts their day a little bit. It kind of breaks it up from the typical everyday things you do in the hospital.
Absolutely. And if we can take the parents' minds off of why they're there for just a couple minutes while Tilly rings a bell or they look at her nails, that's a big thing. And then we have some parents who are like, yes, I would like to pet the dog. Yes, can I? Yeah. Aww. And they're like, can I take her home? I don't know.
You're like, no.
That's going too far now. How did you get Tilly trained? And what kind of walk us through how you were able to get her certified to be able to do this?
So Tilly's very unique, and she kind of came this way. She was rescued in January of 2020. And we did a lot of online training during 2020. When it was time to be evaluated, we're like, okay, well, let's try. Let's work on the testing. And she did great. And then her first visits, we're with staff, and she loves some staff, let me tell you. It's one of the highlights. She'll see them and she'll just wiggle and run to like our nurses and our doctors. But we are registered through an organization called Pet Partners, and we reevaluate every 2 years to make sure our skills are up. Sit down.
Is it for you and her?
Yes, we're a team.
Okay.
Nobody else can come visit with her. It's just me.
You.
And sit down, stay, come when called, reactions to a bunch of people coming up, walking through a crowd, just kind of normal things and kind of how they react to it. And we just, really look for predictability, reliability, confidence. Like, I'm very confident, Tilly, in what she's going to do when she sees a patient.
Yeah.
Like, I know she's going to love everybody. And if she's
a lover.
and if she's
so
ready
cute.
she's ready to go, she'll let me know. She'll okay.
Oh, and she's one of the top dogs. She's a Chihuahua, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
number
What is
2
she?
on the list.
There you go.
Yeah.
And she does tricks.
Yes.
Okay.
Tilly is
Tilly, can she do one right now?
Yeah, she can
Okay,
do a
hold
trick.
on.
She's like, Ty, I'm falling asleep
Let
here,
me hear.
bud.
Where do you want me to
Come
move?
on,
Where do you
I'm
want to
gonna
put
wake
her?
up. I think she said
On
she
the
could
chair?
do it in the chair.
Okay. Here, why don't you scoot right there? Perfect. All right, Tilly.
What are you going to show us, Tilly?
Hey, Tilly.
You're not gonna get
Sorry,
a
I'm
tie
sorry.
flat.
I know.
You could come hang out with me, Tilly, but we want to see a trick. All right, here we go, Till.
Can you ring your bell?
Tilly.
Oh my gosh.
And also, like one of the favorite tricks that the dogs do for all the visits is to give these cards away. And we also have some stickers too, and we call it a potograph. Can you potograph?
Yep.
Look.
There you go. I already got mine.
She got
So yes,
Tilly.
there's your-
Stop.
and it's official now.
It's official. Look at this. I
We
got
really
mine.
like our
thank
paw
you.
and dog puns at the
I
hospital.
love it. You know
I
what?
have to say.
I was going to ask you. I mean, we were just talking a little bit about kind of the way the patients light up when you guys must come into a room, but you get to see that firsthand.
Yes.
I mean, you must have such a fulfilling job as a volunteer to go home. Your heart must be so full when you leave.
It is. It's just a great feeling to make a difference. And then even when we're out in the community, at maybe a dog event, like, a dog fest or something, and somebody will come up and go, I saw you when I was in the hospital.
Oh, that's
And like we have a whole family taking a picture with us. We're like, oh, and we saw someone in the lobby. You were the first dog we met when we came to the hospital. So it's always just really special to hear those things. And because, we're not allowed to take pictures or keep those kind of things, it's always, it's in my heart and in my mind, but it's always so nice to hear that from our parents that we see, later. Sure. And some of the kids, they're just like, Tilly's my favorite. And they get so excited. They're like, I was hoping. And we've even had...
We've got about 10 seconds left.
Oh.
But I just want to wrap things up. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for all that you guys do. And Tilly, I'm going to give you a pause.
She is so cute.
Have a great day, everybody.
Goodness.
Ron and Des are next.
And then we bought...
Oh, thank you.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the continuation of FTT, Fox 10 Talks. You know, Des, you look at that picture, you're like, what a nice, calm, beautiful mid-morning it is here in downtown Phoenix. But wow, what a show Mother Nature put on last night.
I just can't believe it's still morning.
Ah, yes, right? Yeah, right?
We've been up like
the days fly.
More than 10 hours already.
No kidding.
I came in, I was going to say, good afternoon, Isabella. And I go, oh my gosh, wait a second.
It's still morning.
Still morning.
Did you, what was your very, very first job?
Oh, my, TV job or ever?
No, ever.
Oh,
here's why I answered. Here's why
it would have been. I was a like a greeter at a car dealership.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you were great at that.
Yeah, I had to think back because that was short lived.
Yeah.
So then my next real kind of first job was at an ice cream shop.
At the ice cream shop, yeah.
What was yours?
Well, so it was working at a radio station, a real job, but we all picked apples in our family every September when the apple crop came out and went at you.
Nice.
But my sister, her first job was working at McDonald's, and I read a stat that said something like 1 out of every 11 or 12 people, their first job is at a McDonald's in this country, like 7 or 8% of all of Americans.
That is so funny that we're talking about this because the other day, David went and got all of us, the 99-cent ice cream cones.
Sure.
You got to take advantage of that.
Yep.
With this many kids. And he goes, I'm surprised you never worked at McDonald's. Like, why didn't you apply for the McDonald's in town?
Okay.
And I go, I don't know. Good question.
Right.
But I worked, it was kind of similar. It was like an ice cream shop and food. So
well, I hear it's somewhat like what we do every day in that it is so fast and so go, go, go. You barely have a time to take a breath and then you're like, wow, it's over.
I told him, I said it would probably have fit me very well because apparently that's what I like to do is go nonstop.
Yeah, no kidding.
You would have done well as well, Ron.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, it's been.
Did your sister like it then or is she scarred for life?
So, no, I think it was a positive,
it was a good experience.
Overall positive experience. So, I mean, when it comes to a busy day, how about Krystal? She has just been knocking it out of the ballpark. The video, the pics that have been coming in have just been pretty much incredible. Now, did you see the haboob coming, Des? Like, you got to be a mile back or 5 miles back before it swallows you up. Or did it suddenly just get Jordan, my son Jordan, he took those pictures out there in the East Valley, and I'm like, oh man. And then and I was inside the house, and about 3 minutes later, it just went, it went from 4:30 in the afternoon to it felt like 9 o'clock at night.
I was not outside. I did not see this coming. I had no interest whatsoever in ruining my hair for today. But David had my son and one of the twins in the pool.
Oh.
And he goes, okay, you guys, you see it? It was way off in the distance.
Sure.
And as it got a little closer, he goes, when it gets there, we're getting out. And they jumped out immediately when it,
yeah.
it started
I
to
believe
really pick
it.
up.
Well, the rain came down, and that was impressive. That, of course, is Chase Field with about 2 blocks of, an actual chance for you to sort of see what's going on. And it was this way once it rolled in, they shut down Sky Harbor. I was looking at the Flight Radar 24 app, and all of these flights, all of a sudden, it was like you could almost see them slam on the brakes and screech on out of here and start, flying to Vegas, fly to Tucson.
That's what you said. You saw on the map, just everybody avoiding Phoenix.
That's one part of the story that's really hard to follow up on is how long did it take before everybody finally got home? Because if you were parked on a plane at the airport in Vegas for, I think it was about a 2-hour shutdown.
You are not happy.
Of the airport. I mean, you thought you were going to be landing at 6 o'clock. You might not have got home till 10 o'clock last night. But that's sort of the luck of the draw if you are flying in. I actually try to avoid afternoons and evenings in August and even September.
Because you're a smart man.
Well,
you're planning ahead.
It used to be that the monsoon rolled around the 4th of July like clockwork. And for whatever reason now, it just seems to come a lot later in the year. I did love this video right here of Sun Devil Stadium, or now called Mountain America Stadium, because even though it's time-lapse, it shows you how it goes from day to night almost instantaneously. And I was saying to Syleste earlier, if this had actually been a game night, think about how intimidated the other team would have been.
Well, that's what I said this morning on the show. I go, how bad you know what would it be to watch the team running out of the tunnel as that was rolling in?
Right.
Ooh, talk about intimidating the opponent.
Yeah, it really was. And so, they got a big game coming up to start their campaign to once again win the Big 12. That's up against NAU this weekend. And we just hope that when it comes to the airport, to me, this video from Rocco Meneguale that has to be one of the most helpless feelings you can imagine. You're on a plane, you're that close, you're over the city, you're like, oh, just let us land. And then the pilot's going to come on because they did shut the airport down. If you had been on a flight an hour earlier, you would have got in just fine. Instead, pilot's going to come on and say, well, we're going to go to a different airport somewhere here in the West, and we'll see how it all works out. Just tough.
Yeah, as long as you got to where you needed to be safely. But
right.
It's always
and your
a
bags
headache
got you there
dealing
for sure.
with weather delays.
Yeah. So, and Krystal told us yesterday morning, I said, come see us every day. She said yesterday morning we could really be set up so there was some activity night before last.
Yeah.
She said we could really be set up for something.
Yeah, she hit the nail
exciting.
on the head for sure.
Did anybody in your family reach out to you and say either, are you okay? Or can I see some pictures? Or what's it like being there? Because it suddenly goes viral all around the world.
Yeah, no, my parents knew it was fine. They were here. They've been here a couple times through some
Storms.
of the monstrous rainstorms that we've had.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Good. Okay, well, we all made it through, and your stories. By the way, Joseph is on this morning. He says, our roof ended up in the neighbor's carport.
Oh, no. That's never good to hear.
And by the way, here's a reminder for you. 1 o'clock this afternoon on our streaming platform and on YouTube, you can catch Weather and Whatever. That is with Ashley and with Bella. And there'll be a lot of weather, or I don't know. Let's go to the Dave cam real quick and see if we can get a Bella bomb in here.
Yeah.
Bella bomb.
Bella,
There's the Bella bomb.
Is it going to be a lot more weather and a lot less whatever today?
It is, of course, going to be a lot of weather, so you'll just have to tune in and see.
Very nice.
I got a lot of good photos and videos, so I will be sharing those. Yeah, just a lot of crazy images of the dust storm.
Okay, and